The following program is a fan-made review and reaction show. It is in no way affiliated with the movie trivia Schmoedown or Skybound Entertainment.
Welcome back, folks. It is Thursday, and it is another brand spanking new episode of the Ultimate Schmoedown Show. We're here. We're going to break down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday singles tournament action. I'm your host, Colin, and joining me today, all the way across the pond, where his country is not physically on fire, it is Bogz. Bogz, how are you?
Good. Very cold here, actually. Not very cold, let me say. It's not bad. It's no way as bad as you guys, but yeah, just super excited leading up to this big pay-per-view on Friday, which we are going live. So beforehand to discuss. So yeah, let's break it down and let's see where we're at.
And we're not sponsored, but I was going to crack a 21st Amendment brewery, Hell or High Watermelon out of San Francisco. I got family out there in San Francisco. So just hoping everybody out there on the West Coast is doing all right, because we got a lot of Schmoedown family out there on the West Coast. We just want to make sure everybody's doing all right. So stay safe. And, you know, thank you to all the firefighters that are out there doing the dirty work, because it is rough and it really looks like Blade Runner out there. So cracking that. Cheers to you guys. And hopefully if you're watching this and you're out there, this can provide a little bit of a break, because we know it's a little weird out there. So, Bogz, Monday. I mean, come on, man. What more do you want? We got some powerhouse. We got Bibiani versus James White. I mean, there are people calling upset here, man. Were you?
No, not on this one. I mean, it's like an all-star week, wasn't it? So it's like
Champs
we've got,
week.
basically
Week.
We've got all-time on one side, and we've got rookies on the other side. And with the pay-per-view on Friday, we've got two all-timers again. So nothing but net on all this week. So for this match, no, definitely not. I mean, I was super impressed with Bibiani in his teams match with kind of teams run with Maya. So yeah, I was expecting a big win because I really want to see him against the Barbarian, of course. So and yeah, I was looking forward to kind of Koi's kind of interaction with Bibbs as well. And obviously White he was obviously disappointed in his performance last time, even though he hit his 2, 3, and 5. But yeah, he wanted a better all-round performance. And so that kind of led to them clashing. So yeah, I was super excited for it, but definitely back in Bibiani.
The return of the Den Mother. I mean, it always seems to be like when Kate shows up and Koi, there's a tier of managers that you just know you can sit back, folks. We're not going to get dirty today. This is going to be a nice, clean fight. There's not going to be any roughhousing, any jabs or anything like that. Except for Grace. Grace is going to throw some shots at
Grace and Christian. Yeah, just leave them.
Grace and Christian, they'll go at it. But just make sure that restraining order is still up to par, and we should be good to go there. But other than that, man, I thought this match was really clean. Just like I said, I thought it was a clean match. Nothing really went too crazy, but it just felt like Bibbs kind of had control of the match, right? You mentioned how well he played in his team's match, and I feel like that prepared him well enough for this match to give him confidence against a relatively new player in the game, even though he's had some experience this season in James White. So going into round one, man, what are you going to say about Bibbs? He's one of the coldest players we literally have in the game. But James White holds with him the entire time. And both of them get perfect rounds. And then James misses the last question. So, I mean, this is fire already. Like, you got two perfect rounds. When's the last time we had two perfect rounds in a singles match? It's been a long time. I mean, come on. I mean, so these two guys setting up the week, which we just said, Champs Week. And they're setting the stage pretty well. But they're already setting the bar higher than I thought it was going to go. I mean, where are you at after round one?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, again, impressed. Obviously, both of them hit perfect rounds. Bibiani's hit the Mrs. Doubtfire question. This is second time in really. I forgot which other match, but there was another Mrs. Doubtfire question missed a
Everybody's
few
got to
weeks
watch
ago.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, like I mean, come on, have you not grown up on that?
He's
You know,
basically
yeah,
cross-dressing Mr. Rogers. Like, what do you not want out of that? Like,
sure,
come on, like that's everything. Movie's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So
And it takes place in
obviously,
San Francisco.
oh, I don't know actually.
It does.
Yeah,
It does take place in San Francisco.
Okay. But yeah, no, it just Bib showing his caliber, showing his caliber, showing that just he's got that little bit more than a round 2 pick rookie. Obviously James White, he's playing great, but obviously getting his confidence in now after having not a great game first round. Obviously in second round, he's got that perfect round. Bibbs got the perfect round. Okay, great. Going into the next round, let's see what's happening. But yeah, absolutely, Bibbs is on fire as usual.
We're going into round 2, man. Bibbs throwing it over, and then James ending up with the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And I that's a hard 1990s to me, even though I was born in that's when I was born. It's a hard decade because there's so much going on in the 90s. It's so many different ways. And it's going to be just like the 2010s, I think, to competitors in the next 10 to 15 years. Hopefully, look back on the 2010s. It's going to be a very, very chunky category. There's a lot of movies made between the 2010s. And when you compile on top of that, everything else you got going on, the 90s is just so thick. And I mean, to get Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas here, you either know that movie or you don't know that movie, and I did not know that movie, so I mean I'm on the same page. But easy steals for Bibbs here. I think that's one thing where I'm looking at the 90s and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a Bibbs wheelhouse, low key a Bibbs wheelhouse. But James checking down twice, getting stolen once, coming out 13-10, throwing it back over to Bibbs. I just got to say, I love Coy and Bibbs's spats. It's their chats are up there in the top 5. I mean, it's meow, meow, growl, growl. And he throws it back. He's like, oh, you know what I like? It makes me feel safe. And that's one of the things I like about Coy is how he makes his competitors feel extremely comfortable at all times. And that is, kind of a quality that Winston shares, but there's just something that Winston has been doing that's, been propelling people to the next level that Coy, I think, will ascend to. Just has to get, more big game experience under his belt because you just, obviously you can't help what you haven't played in. But, going into Bibbs, I mean, come on. The guy goes in, he does action adventure, and he's a stud. He drops 1 point to James, comes back to tie it, and then goes up to 16-14. So if you're James, you just took a former champion who's going up for the team's title to 2 points after round 2. Right? You're down 2. That, I mean, compared to what we're going to see in the Ethan Irwin match later on, a deficit that would have to be overcome. This is nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And you stole one as well.
Right.
So, just on the back of as well what you said about Coy, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm warming to him more and more every week. I think that just from what you've said, that it's just because he's only got really kind of 2 players that have been in a lot of matches, so we haven't seen enough of him kind of with his players and the kind of bond that he has and stuff. Where we've seen loads of Winston, but every time we do see him, I just love his involvement, his kind of say into what they're picking or what to give the other people. It's definitely a lot better than other managers, I think. And I would want someone like that as a manager, personally, me personality wise, like someone to say, okay, what we're going to do here? Okay, like to bounce off each other and say, okay, I won't pick it if you don't want me to, that kind of thing. It's like, wow.
June.
Yeah, it's like someone really
Jupiter.
involved. Yeah.
Mars and Silver. It's just like, what are we talking about here, guys? Just like talk. Like, you're not like, cool. Are we coming up for, I know it goes back to American football, but like they do have like calls and stuff that they make like audibles at the line. So if there is something in the middle of a game that you've prepared for, I guess to a point, I understand where the Fed Stock Exchange comes from with some of this. But I'm with you. Coy's vibes is just something that it's like, I'm safe. I'm calm. And I think Bibbs feels that. And I think Bibbs
said that this week. That what did he say? He said something along the lines of, "Oh, I would have been nervous if I would have missed that bonus." I think he said, and I think Brendan said it the kind of week in his first round singles match that, "Oh, I'm feeling nervous," kind of thing. But he's there to settle them down. Like even though they're playing online and we can see their communication, like they have that comfortability with him where he has that management style where he can calm them down, he can settle them down, he can say, "I'm with you," that kind of thing. So that's super impressive. Like they have that kind of the bottle really to talk it out, kind of live and everyone can hear, but they're still going through it because it's for that person, it's for that personality. So
and then we almost see a little bit different, and I keep alluding to it. Excuse me, the Ethan Irwin match with him and Sam, where they get to a point of the match where it's not, I mean, spoilers, you all watch the match. When he gives opponent's choice, when Vinny spins opponent's choice, and then they sit there like, well, we could give him one of your strengths. I'm like, Ethan, don't tell people. Like, there's kind of a thing where it's like they're kind of checking down in a bad way when they're kind of showing their hand too much. Play poker, you're showing your hand a little too much, and you could also keep it. There's a middle ground there, right? And I think Coy and Winston have kind of found that middle ground where they're prepared, yet Coy can coach at the same time, where Coy has enough time to sit there and talk through stuff with them and also say meow, meow, growl, growl, and all those important things as well. So Coy's up there. Like, we'll look at, obviously everybody's like a rookie manager, right? If you want to look like rookie managers and stuff, but like, we'll have a rookie manager of the year type, but like I see the biggest jump being made. There's a saying, and I keep throwing it back. It's American Football Day, baby. You make your biggest leap between your first and your second season. That's when you get fully acclimated to the game. And I think this is Coy's first real full season in the Schmoedown. Winston's kind of been there before. Everyone else, except for Kate, but Kate's kind of got Grace, who's been there for a minute. Coy's kind of really the only rookie manager, right? He's kind of definitely got the least amount of experience overall prior to this season. And I see him in season 2 just, especially if Brendan takes another step forward. If Bibbs wants to continue on with this team, obviously he feels extremely comfortable. So if they come out on top at the spectacular, woo, like, oh man, this is going to be crazy. That was a lot. Round 3, Bogz. This, I mean, what more do you want? We always say, take me to the 5-point.
It didn't quite, but nearly. Like, right. Obviously, it's 2 and
at least ask it. At least ask yours. At least get yours to be asked.
At least get there. Yeah.
right.
But yeah, no. I thought it was a little bit of a trick question asking White his 3-pointer. What was the Matthew McConaughey's character's name in Mud? What was his name? Obviously, it's Mud. But obviously, Bibbs took a bit of a, was that a 3-pointer? Only if you know. Like, I didn't know. So
I didn't know it either.
I would have just guessed Bob or Mark or whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a trick question. So I did appreciate that. And yeah, he's obviously missed his 5-pointer. But yeah, no shame. You're coming up against an all-time great player who's on a great run, who's in great form. And, you pushed him nearly all the way. So, yeah, I mean, you played great, so nothing wrong with that. But yeah, obviously this kind of matches up against the Barbarian. Super hyped for, super excited. So yeah, let's see where we're at. Another Finstock and Shazam match. So yeah, we'll see what's happening with that. But yeah, I just think Bibbs is just a straightforward, honest player, and I love that. Yeah, and I just love that about him and his style.
Real clean. Yeah. He's not going to do anything. He rarely challenges. And if it is, it's going to be legit, right? It's going to be legit, and it's going to be for something that probably should. Honestly, I don't even know. Has Bibbs ever challenged anything?
I think, obviously the whole Bateman stuff.
Right.
That tension with him. I think it depends on the player, or maybe what's on the line. If it's a title match, one contender, maybe he might.
He just doesn't need it though, right? Like it definitely feels like some of those guys are like, well, let me call a challenge just because I felt like Bibbs is like, nope. Next question, boom. Mainly because he doesn't miss. Like, Bibbs has a very hard time missing. And this is such a good segue. Speaking of not missing, all the way, the man, the myth. My second favorite player right now in the Schmoedown, prime time Paul Oyama. The PO box is full of W's right now, folks. And Paul Oyama is here. He is going up against highly touted rookie Marisol McKee, coming off of one of the most talked about rookie. I wanted to call what would you call your first match? I need something for your first match. Your premiere into the Schmoedown.
Debut.
Oh my goodness, just bringing energy that's so unique. I mean, my girlfriend Guyane, she's like, oh, I love her. She's awesome. And she's just definitely bringing this infectious energy that Lady Justice, she kind of feels like for all my boys fans out there, she kind of feels like Maeve on The Boys, where she's like, oh, you're kind of good, but you're surrounded by a bunch of assholes. You got a bunch of jerks around you. You sure you belong to be hanging out with these people? Which kind of one day will kind of set up. It's going to be very hard for corruption to keep Lady Justice around with all the talent that they got going on.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Right, that's going to be very hard. So she could be up to go to some a new faction next season. I mean, I think Lady Justice going up with Shazam. Look, I mean, we're just stacking the house here, but I just love the way she approaches the game and her commitment to a vibe. I love the word vibe, but her taking off the Kanan mask and everything, and it's it reminds me of Roca, but the other, she takes it off because she's Justice is blind, but she's it's tough. She's got a catchphrase in match number 2. What in the world? Get it on a t-shirt, find it on TeePublic, use promo code Lady Justice. But primetime Paul Oyama had something else to say, Bogz. He was
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please take it away. He had so much to say, and I know you do too.
Yeah, no, it's just about Marisol, exactly what you're saying. She definitely got some kind of something about her that obviously I'm sure we can break it down further, but she's obviously in the teams tournament with Adam Collins. Super hyped to see her. So she's so confident in what she knows. Just obviously does need to work, I'd say, a little bit on the mic talk, just the extra 5-10% that will come with confidence. But apart from that, she's a 10 out of 10 player. You can just see over the next year or two, how dominant she's going to be. She knows her stuff. She's got a character stuff on lock. She's great with a manager. There's nothing really not to like. I could tell she goes gym as well. I don't know if you noticed that. There's something about her. She's got that flex about her that you can say. You can see she's a full-time gym person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
All right,
yeah, and
I see you over there.
And what else? Yeah, it was nice to see 4 minorities as well, managers and players. I immediately, lock onto that. That's definitely that's definitely a it doesn't happen that often. That it's always a standout thing for me. So yeah, it's always nice to see. But
it was that way, bro. It was Shannon to me is a little more tan. She didn't look white to me. When I see Shannon, I'm like, ooh, you might.
No, I don't 100% know, to be perfectly honest. I think she's mixed. So
right. Okay,
so I don't know where she's from.
Minorities this week, son.
Yeah, just get them 2 out of the way and we'll be all right. No,
let's go. Get Bogz.
No, I need to. Yeah, we need to get her on because we need to. Yeah, we need to. Get you and me on. But yeah, we need to. I need to ask actually. I don't know where her family's from or anything. So I'm just assuming by her look, but because I've got an eye for them kind of things. But yeah, no. Obviously, Oyama, big tournament expected. Obviously, he's carrying. The whole final exam vibe as well. Winston's got his back fully. He's. Chandru's told us that. He's kind of the coach for the singles and teams division. So, and obviously Chandru's got the kind of inner geekdom and Star Wars kind of revision thing. So yeah, obviously we know he's a top player. And Colin, did you I couldn't believe it, that when he spun Kubrick, and obviously Lon's told us on the live show that, this guy's, really good with Kubrick, and everything sticks with him. And I was like, he literally told us. He told us.
I'm they told us this on our show.
It didn't register. I was like, he's literally said everything that was going to happen. So I was like, wow, the same spin as well. Lon, I like the trick that he done with us. But yeah, anyway, that was round 2. We need to talk about round 1 first.
But round 1, man. All right, so Marisol basically holding par, except for not knowing that Red Dragon was the Hannibal movie, which cool. Come on, if you're gonna that's
It's Hannibal or
it's
Red Dragon.
Hannibal
right?
movie, right? Exactly. It's right.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't know, obviously, like I didn't know off the top of my head, it's just out of my wheelhouse of movies. Like I've said it many times. I've said it before. Horror movies and me don't go well together. Jordan Peele is bringing me back into the genre because of just how the way he incorporates like realism. It's a different kind of tone to it. Yeah. And so it's a psychological and mental thriller at the same. It's got everything going on. But I kind of was on the I'll be honest, I was on the Saw generation a couple times. I saw at a sleepover when I was like 12, and I was like, what's going on here? This is kind of cool. But Hannibal, to me, I watched the first season of the show and I was like, oh, this dude's legit eating. I'm out, man. Like I'm out. I can't do that. I dream really hard.
Horror's not my thing.
I dream really hard.
That's definitely a weak point for me.
Yeah, definitely my weak point, and it's definitely why I either have to play teams if I'm ever lucky enough to play in the Schmoedown, or enter geekdom. Like it's it. Like there's no like, because horror and classics, I'm done. Like I'm just getting wrecked at, and it's just over. But other than that, man, Paul goes perfect in the first round. It definitely sets up what. And Marisol, welcome to the club. You passed the 6.5 club. Ding, 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 ding. I'm going to need a graphic at some point. It's going to be a sound bite. It's going to be, welcome to the 6.5 club. You did it.
So,
you can't stop
Paul's
Paul.
First perfect round, right?
Yeah. And you can't stop Paul
First
either.
Perfect round one. Yeah.
Right. Like you can't stop Paul's momentum. If he's playing like this, I mean, it's so unfortunate. I think I could do a whole pod. We could do a whole pod on the mental strain it puts on a player to go down 9-7 because you're almost perfect, but they are. And I would love to know all the I want to put all the players that have been. Frankie, hey man, if you're listening, I would love to know that stat, and I'll ask you because the 9-7. How many players have come back from a 9-7 deficit? Just because that 2 points is so hard to overcome. If the other player is playing that high of a level, it's really hard for you to come back if you're that player that's down 2. So walking into round 2, man, this guy just won't miss. Come on.
Yeah, she
won't miss.
Well, firstly, she went first. Marisol went first. Obviously, Paul's elected to go second. And then she's spawned Nora Ephron.
Can we stop?
How many times? Right,
I know. Stop with the Nora Ephron movies. It's
Nora Ephron, Angela Bassett
in the last
spy
4
movies.
weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's stop it.
Yeah,
wait. What's the Michael Jordan meme? You need help.
What, when he's crying? Oh,
stop it. Stop it. He's just sitting looking like he's taking his yearbook photo. Stop it. You need help. Nora Ephron, stop it. Like, please go away. No offense. I love the movies, but go away for the Schmoedown for a little bit. We need a break. Like the Inner Geekdom. We need a break.
Yeah, let's have something else. Yeah. But I don't know, I think I've got a sneaky feeling that Paul put that on as a wheel slice.
100%. Oh, yeah. I know he did. Because
the way he
love to ask him.
Yeah, he knew the answers before she was giving him, and when she's picked her multiple choice, because she's gone multiple choice 3 times out of the first 3 questions, and he's kind of like nodded along before even Mark or Christian's given the answer. So he seemed like he knew that. And obviously she's nailed Elise Kudrow in the last question, so she's got 5 points. So she's gone 12-9 up, and then he's obviously spun Kubrick, spinner's choice. That's just a look, yeah. Like
just take that category out back, because that's his boy right there, man. Exactly. Oh my God.
Lon told us on Friday, like this guy retains retention like he's never seen before, and he goes, for example, like Kubrick, like movies like Kubrick, like who starred in Barry Lyndon. He actually said that on our live stream, and that was one of the questions. The second question was who starred in Barry Lyndon. It was Ryan O'Neal.
Hey, Lon, if you're gonna come on the show and like drop questions that are gonna get us in trouble, please don't do it anymore.
No, I enjoyed it. I was laughing the whole way through Kubrick. But Kubrick's. I think on the surface, that was a super amazing round. Obviously he's hit all his 2 points. But me, Kubrick for me is one of my favorite all-time directors. And I did feel like these were quite for Kubrick. I mean, these were quite service level. Apart from the Shining, the year on the picture of the Shining, that's like super difficult.
Wow.
But the rest were just like who starred in it, how many characters did he play in the movie, and what's the kind of dessert that the guy
how
had.
many roles Peter Sellers plays in Doctor Strangelove?
Yeah,
that'll take a second. Yeah, 3.
Yeah. But that's like I knew that without just randomly off the top of my head, because that's like a famous thing, where he's playing people at the same table and stuff. Like Eddie Murphy in Nutty Professor, you just know, right? Like he plays all the characters. That's just like a thing. But yeah, anyway, like obviously he's had the bottle to put that on the wheel, and he's landed it, etc. So yeah, obviously he's done great, and he's got that lead. But yeah, just getting spinner's choice. I mean, these are just the things that go in your favor when you're kind of a high ranked player against a lower player. You happen to get spinner's choice, and obviously you pick your wheel side. They just have that look. Yeah, they just have that look, that consistency, where kind of new players just don't have.
Talk about the spread, right? I don't think we talk about the spread enough in the Schmoedown. I want to wait. Can that be like a short segment on here, the Schmoedown spread, where I break down the spread for each match, like it's like I'm the damn bookie out here. So this match, if we're looking at it from a bookie standpoint, I'm gonna put this match at about a 6.5. I'm probably 6.5 for experience. It's and then you got to overcome 6.5 points, because dude's gonna do that to you, right? Like Paul's gonna get ahead, and like we're gonna see, man, the dude didn't miss a question. It's the second time. He's a bad man. Can you imagine? Oh my God, him and Ben Bateman going at it right now with how good these two seem to be playing right now. Oh my goodness. And he's gonna play the N Snyder. Jeff Snyder. Spoilers. He's gonna play the N Snyder, Jeff Snyder. Oh man. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's I mean, obviously, just finishing it out. Then she's obviously Marisol's hit a 2 and Ad Astra 2-pointer. She's thrown it. And then she's I forgot which order it is actually.
She nailed the 3-pointer, then sent it back to 2.
Yes,
Paul nails
which flash down. Yeah,
and then the 5. Oh my
I mean,
God.
What drug is it called? But Paul knew it. That's the annoying thing. Like
slow-mo, slow-mo, right?
Yeah. You're playing so good, and this guy's just that much better. So, but obviously that's with experience, By this stage, he's 6-2. Man. Yeah, he's 6-2. He's been one of the best players in the last 2 years. He just knows his stuff. He's in great form. So, that's
what kind of vitamins is this guy taking? Is he taking that brain stimulant stuff?
I think he's on that slow-mo thing. Yeah.
See on that slow-mo? I mean, shit. What's that? What's that stuff they take? That limitless pill, bro. He might be on that limitless pill right now, man. I mean,
he's killing it. He wants that. He's hungry. He wants that respect back after that kind of run, his title run towards the end, and kind of how he's lost the title.
Just lost the teams. Just lost the run at the teams one with Lon. And the way that he's playing right now,
it's fine.
We'll get into it. Right now, they're one of my top 2 teams to beat in this upcoming teams tournament,
no doubt.
Especially. I mean, man, the way they're playing, he's playing.
That's that Snyder match. That's what I'm looking forward to in the whole of round 2. Yeah, obviously Bibiani and Barbarian's great.
We might have to do like a live reaction to that, Bogz.
Yeah.
We might have to react to that. We've never done reaction.
We'll do a play along.
We're more responders, less reactors. We're more responders.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what I'm in for. Like. Round 2 is a rematch of their title match. Just the tension going in. Obviously, Schneider wants blood. Schneider's playing great. Like I said, Schneider's one of my favorite players of all time. Obviously, Oyama's kind of just killing it. The manager's going at it. I just love that extra spice to it. Like I said, Bibiani and Barbarian, absolutely looking forward to that. That's a bit like a gentleman's match, though. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for the grime. I'm here for Schneider. Obviously, Mark Riley against Perry's another nice match. Shannon Miller against Chance, again another nice match. They're all kind of nice match. I want the spice there. I want that tension. I want that rivalry. I'm going to get that with Schneider and Oyama, and I can't wait.
I mean, this is going to be the wildest second round at a tournament we've ever seen. This is the stacked singles tournament we've ever seen. So Oyama coming out with a 2-point win over Marisol. And just one more thing. I mean, if she lands on the right team with the right manager, with the right partner, Oh
No
my
doubt,
god.
yeah. No
Oh
doubt.
my god. Future champion right here. You want to call her right? I mean, she is a champion caliber player with the way she's composed in a match, with the way you can tell the speed at which somebody answers questions in this game, how their recall is. Her recall's phenomenal. I would rate her recall probably at 8.5 out of 10 right now, just on what I've seen that she knows what she knows. Paul's up there with the 10 out of 10s. Him and Chance, they're just the 10 out of 10. So that's what you want. So if I'm her, I'm going back and watching these Chance matches. I'm watching these Paul matches because these are the guys who have been right where you are right now. Like your floor is so high, but your ceiling is through the roof. And she's one of those players that you're gonna have to watch out for years to come in this game. Next year, she might be winning this whole damn tournament, and mark that if she's not already competing for a title by then.
Yeah, she would have. I just want to say, sorry, she would have beat most players today.
Oh, absolutely.
She would have. Sorry, not today, obviously, when the match aired. But yeah, it's just that obviously she's in the teams tournament as well. I'm fully putting her in for a nomination for Rookie of the Year. Kind of her vibe, the way she plays, how the whole Lady Justice thing and all that. So yeah, I think I believe that she's going to cement that rookie nomination more with obviously the team situation. So yeah, some players, for example, we're not going to see now for the rest of the year. Ben Goddard, Robert Parker, these kind of guys, and she's still playing. So it might be recency biased, I don't know, but I'm kind of want to put her in.
That's what happens in sports.
Yeah,
that's what happens. You get you
when you guys don't want to play,
you have to be in the moment, and she has had the moment. I wouldn't say like and secured it, but Robert. That wasn't a performance that would make me put a vote in for rookie of the year the last time that I saw him. Obviously, it's a loss to the eventual champion of the tournament. But you have to think about, the taste that it left in your mouth the last time that you saw them. Was it a positive one? Was it a respectful one? Goddard keeps taking L's in this league.
He's not stepping up. He didn't play in obviously the
and we had much criticism to the way that he handled his team's match with Rachel. We thought that he was a little overstepping. He could have stepped back a little bit, been a little more cooperative with Rachel. But right now, man, my rookie of the year, I agree.
She's up there.
She's up there.
Barbarian, she's up there. Yeah, absolutely. Because he didn't play. Ben obviously hasn't played in the singles tournament. Again, he hasn't elected to play in the teams tournament. So I don't know what's going on there. So, but yeah, we can talk about that teams tournament another show. But we've got one more match to do, right?
We got one more match, man. It's Champs Week Part 3. This is the third course of your Champs Week meal. And right now, we got Ethan Irwin versus the ice pick, Vinny Mancuso. And, I mean, the dude, Vinny, he's got some stonies. He's got some cojones because the dude walks up ice. He's got ice in his veins. He's like, you can be my wingman anytime. He says, bullshit, you can be mine, baby. And that's a vibe. To walk up against Ethan Irwin, the man's got an action figure of himself, folks. He's got an action figure.
He's got like a movie studio as well.
He's got like a whole movie studio, and 3 Avengers called him the day of this match. Ethan Irwin is back, folks. If you thought Ethan Irwin was gone, if you thought Ethan Irwin was, demoralized by a bad miss in 5-question deep overtime, bye-bye, folks, because here comes Ethan Irwin. Bogz.
Yeah.
Is Ethan a contender to you to go all the way and go back to the spectacular to claim what he feels is rightfully his off of this performance?
I'd say yes. He's my pick to win, but I'd say he's obviously got a great chance. Like I don't see a reason why he shouldn't be in the semi-finals at least. I think he's got quite a decent route as well. Obviously to spoil this match, but he's obviously playing Tom next. Tom or Jada promo.
Oh, we spoiled it like 20 minutes ago, man.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Again, very winnable match for him there. And obviously the next match after that I think he plays the winner between Zipper and who else is it? I forgot who he's playing.
Oh man, look at us, unprofessionals.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that match as well. I mean, it's not very winnable.
You're not scared of anything. If you're him, the first all right is either Snyder or Paul.
Yeah,
Snyder,
exactly.
Paul,
And I think
Final Four.
that'll be the semis, right?
That's the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, his
The
quadrant.
ferocious four.
So I'll be shocked if he doesn't make the semi-finals. But I did like Mancuso's kind of confidence in this. He's coming in cocky, saying, "I like that as a contender. As a kind of lower ranked player, because
do what you can.
Trying to get someone off the game. I don't see anything wrong with that. Like for example, who's the? I've seen so many players just generally come in and be so respectful and happy to be there, which is great and fantastic. And obviously, I'd probably be the same.
Like a Liz Shannon Miller.
Yeah, or even someone lower ranked, like or newer player, like a playing match. They're so like James White, for example, right? So overly respectful and
just
and
happy
polite.
to be here.
Happy to be there. Yeah,
Just
but this guy's coming in like when you kind of have the antics and the and you kind of making jokes and stuff. Like for example, Schneider against Oyama, you think he's just going to let him play and not kind of distract him because when you're answering a question and someone's counting down, you might still be thinking, oh, what was Schneider on about there? Or why is he dancing around? Or just to try and put him off. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's a part of the game. And I just love that Mancuso did embrace that a little bit. Just a little bit, just to try and whether it's give you self-confidence, whether it's distracting someone else or whatever the reason is. I do like the kind of additional kind of showmanship of it because I think it doesn't always work, but it can enhance your gameplay.
He
so
bought
I
in.
Appreciate that going in. Yeah,
he bought in. He played his game. Unfortunately, I mean, man, that every round seemed to just not go Vinny's way.
Yeah,
seemed like aside from that first round, again that 2-point advantage though coming out of round 1 for Ethan. It's 7-5. I can't believe it. I mean, what question did Ethan miss?
Ethan missed the Bridget Jones sequel.
He missed the Bridget Jones's.
It's the same thing with that Hannibal question.
Yeah,
Hannibal,
yeah, right. It's one of the
Red Dragon. Yeah, Bridget Jones baby. Bridget Jones sequel? I don't know.
Whatever.
They're all the same. Yeah.
Right. So he's probably a little pissed, and then Vinny just spins a tough category.
Well, in round 1, Vinny's obviously took shots at. He's took shots at Ethan.
He's taking shots at everyone
for not watching.
Even know who he is.
For not watching Frozen, which I'll come to in a bit.
But, look, bro, he did it. I put it in the chat. It in the chat,
yeah.
bro.
But yeah, and then obviously he said that, and then he's, Ethan's hit his Little Mermaid question, and that was the last question in round 1, and he's missed it. Vinny's missed it himself. I'm like, oh, come on, man! Like, you're talking the talk. I'm trying to back you here, but he's just like, come on, man. At least you're not even hit the Disney question like that.
I'll never miss a Little Mermaid question ever after I just watched the Howard documentary on Disney Plus, and now I'm just like, oh, so sad. It's so sad. It's so good.
Well, how the duck? No, I'm joking.
No. This is the guy who did the music for Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and
what's his name? Howard Ashby. Okay, yeah. He's done it with I forgot the other guy's name.
Mark is it Antle? And what's his name?
And Alan
Antle. Alan.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. But dude, all of a sudden, Ethan's out here taking Sigourney Weaver. He's like, hey, has anybody had Sigourney Weaver? And then there's an edit, which I saw it.
Okay.
I saw the edit.
Alan Menken. Sorry.
I saw the cut.
Let's check.
I saw the cut. Did you see the cut?
I don't
Ethan
remember,
asks the question.
Yeah, I remember him asking. I don't remember.
He asked the question and he said, "Hey Christian, has anybody?" And then he's like, "Hey Sam, has anybody asked this?" He asked the question twice. And Christian's like, "You can't ask me that."
Okay.
But that's one of the things I don't really like about these matches is there's some shit that we see on a live match that's a bit more pressure involved. That shit wouldn't fly. They'd be like, no. Or if they gave the answer, you'd have Bobby Finstock running, or you'd have Kaiser coming through the fucking screen being like, what the hell is this? What is going on here? He's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Vinny dude, you had a really small hill to get up. And then you spun opponent's choice and get handed Catherine Bigelow. Literally Ethan Irwin's favorite category. So the fact that he was even able to pulls 5 points out of that round is unbelievable.
He only got 3.
3? Oh, because he gets a steal from No,
No,
he had
so,
5.
so Ethan
No, he
went
had 5.
first.
Yeah, he had 5. He's spinning the wheel. It's 15-5. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's 15-5. Yeah,
And then, so it's 15-5. So then he gets 5 points, but still 7 points. So he gains 3 points. Gains 3 on him. That's the hardest deficit to come back, especially against a former champ, because then not only do you have to go 2-3-5, they just have to go 2. It's one of the hardest things to ask a player to do. And unfortunately, Vinny cannot get to his 5. Ethan sends him home with the TKO, man. That's got to sting for the dungeon. It just seems like the dungeon thought they had another one, and
he's missed the Frozen question, which he took a shot at him at the start of the
Frozen.
like, oh, come on, man. Like, that was just all downhill. Like, obviously super unlucky hitting spinner's choice and opponent's choice, which probably Ethan put both them slices on Sigourney Weaver and who's the other one? Sigourney Weaver and Catherine Bigelow. He's probably put both them on, and he's obviously knocked it out of the park. But yeah, that's just like super unlucky. But because I think Kaiser was secretly confident going into this, because I do quite like Vinny, but and I did as well. I did like, obviously it didn't work out, but I did like that because I've mentioned it numerous times on our shows that Kaiser have continuously told his players to spin. I don't like this slice. Let's spin off it. And this was the first or second time all season that they've listened to him. So obviously they've lost loads of times. But obviously it didn't overall make a difference because he's got his opponent's choice. But
we see
I was happy. I was happy that he listened because he said it himself right on the stream. He was like, how many times? No one ever listens. But yeah, that was definitely a nice thing for me. But yeah, overall, obviously unlucky for Vinny. But that's what happens. Like I said, the luck is just with the players. When you put the time in, they've just got that good luck karma where they just they spin opponents and spinners.
It's going to come around eventually.
It'll happen for them as well. It'll happen for these rookies down the line. That you got to put the work in, you got to put the time in, and just kind of the good luck will just flow. But yeah, it's obviously right now it's Champs Week.
Champs Week continues on Thursday with John Roca facing off against Adam Collins. So we have not seen that match as of the recording as of right now. But what we have seen, what we haven't seen is our friend John Barr. So I'm going to throw it all the way over to the bright sunny skies. Oh, wait, the dark and gloomy 2049 Blade Runner skies of Los Angeles. John, we hope we're doing okay, but please give us your thoughts on the matches this week.
Dear Lon, thank you for coming on the show and giving me the intellectual property rights to your third brother. I promise not to tell anyone what you did to him. Hey, you want to talk about the Schmoedown? Let's talk about the Schmoedown. I don't have a lot to say about these matches individually. They all kind of follow the same formula of a solid rookie going up against a former singles champion in a singles tournament. They all kind of turn out roughly the same way, so I'm mostly just going to focus on the statistics specifically, and then what this means for each faction. The first match to talk about was the closest of the 3 matches I'll be talking about. William the Beast Bibiani of the Quirky Mercs going up against James White of the Den. This was definitely a match where the pressure was on for James White just because he was 2 of 4 players remaining in the tournament after these round 1 matches, and he really rose to the occasion. Bibiani was able to be a little bit more comfy with both Brendan Meyer and Perry winning their round 1 matches, so he was able to just kind of vibe with his equally energetic manager and his very cute cat. Going out of round 1, 2 perfect rounds. Bibiani, though, was the only one who hit that bonus question, so there was a 9-8 lead by Bibiani, but that's not a big lead. And then going into round 2, still no big leads. James White spun 1990s and got 5 of a possible 8 points. Bibiani was able to get a 1-point steal off that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas question. But then, when Bibiani spun Action Adventure, he got 6 of a possible 8 points, and James was able to get a steal off of him with the Rock Band multiple choice question. I just wrote Rock Band in my notes, and I thought that was fun to say, so I just wanted to say it again. And then round 3, these two just kind of kept trading questions. It was really going back and forth until James White couldn't quite hit that Tarzan 5-pointer. Question that I don't think I could have hit either, to be honest. Like, once I heard Piranha, I could kind of see the scene in my mind, but that was not a question to feel bad about missing, I wouldn't say, and certainly not a match to feel bad about losing. Like, this was really very close. Only a 2-point difference. Went all the way to that 5-pointer. James White played a heck of a game, a clear asset for the Den, but Bibiani is one of the big dogs for Koi Gendreau and the Quirky Mercs. And right now, they are sitting at the number 4 spot in the faction rankings due to Williams' performance in this match, due also to Brendan's performance in his match, due to Perry's performance in her match, and of course due to the work that Shazam has been doing as of late in teams. Bibiani is just one of those guys that's really done good work with Koi, and it's hard to tell if anyone can stop him if James White played such a good game and he wasn't able to. But we'll see when Bibiani goes up against Barbarian. The second match to talk about is Paul Oyama of Swag going up against Marisol McKee of Corruption. Not quite as close as the Bibiani versus James White match, but still certainly close. Marisol McKee living up to the hype that she was justly getting after that Bonnie Somerville match. She's definitely a rookie to keep watching out for, but Paul Oyama is really getting that new groove going for himself, and it really paid off in this match. Coming out of round 1, Paul Oyama got the perfect round and the bonus question. Marisol did not. She missed the Red Dragon question. So Paul had a 2-point lead coming out of round 1, 9-7. Marisol McKee spun Nora Ephron. Struggled a little bit with it, but still got 5 out of a possible 8 points, which is still impressive. That's a very nice number to get coming out of round 2. Not quite as nice, though, as 8 out of a possible 8 points. Oyama got Spinner's Choice, a huge boon. He chose Stanley Kubrick, and he completely knocked it out of the park, meaning that after round 2, it was 17-12 in favor of Paul. So Marisol had to hit her 2 and 3-pointer, which she did, to bounce it back to Oyama, so no chance of KO. Oyama got his Dance Movies 2-pointer, and then Marisol wasn't able to hit that 5-pointer. A really tough one again, the Drug and Judge Dredd, or was it Dredd? I don't even remember. That's how bad my brain is. Marisol is clearly a very good player looking at this match. She wasn't quite able to make it through, which is a little bit of a bummer for Corruption, because now it's just up to what Adam and Chance can do moving forward. But she played a good game. Paul Oyama is just really now back in his bag. We've seen it a little bit in his work with the team final exam, with the faction Swag overall. But now that we're in another tournament, Winston has another chance to just kind of keep pushing Paul forward. And if this performance is any indication, this might be another tournament that Swag takes home. But with this match, they are back up at the number 1 spot in the faction rankings, at least for now, but we'll see if that changes. And then the third match to talk about was Ethan Irwin of the Usual Suspects going up against Vinny Mancuso. Sam Levine has really put all of his eggs into the Ethan Irwin basket, but at least for this match, it definitely paid off, as Ethan Irwin, who just came off of a title match, goes up against Vinny Mancuso, who did get what I consider to be a surprise win over Sabrina Ramirez, but just didn't have the experience or the knowledge to be able to really keep up with what Ethan was putting down in this match. After round 1, Ethan did not get a perfect round because he missed the Bridget Jones's baby question, which Vinny did get right, but then Vinny got 3 of his next questions wrong, which meant that the lead coming out of round 1 was 7-5 in favor of Ethan. Then in round 2, if Vinny had a chance of winning, which he could have, he certainly won before, it wasn't going to happen today because of the karma that was working against him, with Ethan spinning Spinner's Choice going with Sigourney Weaver, and then Vinny spinning Opponent's Choice and getting Catherine Bigelow. Ethan was able to get 8 out of a possible 8 points, much like Oyama did when he got Stanley Kubrick, a category he's comfortable with, makes sense. Vinny got a category that was one of Ethan's strengths, and he just wasn't able to quite put it together for himself. He got 3 of a possible 8 points, and Ethan was able to get 2 steals away from him, which meant that it was 17-8 coming out of round 2 in that KO territory. And that's what we got. We got a TKO, because Vinny got his Quentin Tarantino 2-pointer, but was not able to get his Frozen 3-pointer after making a joke about how Ethan probably didn't see Frozen in the beginning. So that wasn't a great look for Vinny all the way around, but not a bad performance, just a performance of a rookie going up against a former singles champion. Like, that's what was supposed to happen, and that's what did happen. And quite frankly, it needed to happen for Sam and the Usual Suspects. So in that regard, I'm happy for him. And Kaiser, you'll figure it out, buddy.
Thanks, John. We hope to see you back. We'll be here Friday live. That's tomorrow before the big pay-per-view, where we got Janine the Machine making a return to the Schmoedown in the undercard before the big old match everybody's talking about. It's what everybody's talking about. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. The big old champs match between Ben the Boss Bateman and Dangerous Dan Barrow. Boom, 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 boom. The team's tournament got announced, though, Bogz. Christian Harloff, please feel free to come on our show to drop breaking news. But for now, I realize you have your own show to do that on. It's nice to have your state news. You know, when you have a state-run news network, it's nice sometimes. Movie Trivia Schmoedown Teams Tournament 2020. Bogz, swag. We got the team of Lon Harris, Paul Oyama final exam. No questions there.
No surprise, yeah.
Corruption. Marisol McKee and Adam Collins. Oh my goodness. This is one of the most dangerous up-and-coming teams. I feel like this has been planned since the beginning. I feel like Shannon and Mike and Chance knew that these two were destined for Schmoedown glory.
Yeah, I was glad it happened as well because, I want to see more of Marisol in particular. Plus, to be perfectly honest, I mean, they don't really have anyone else. Who are they really going to put in? Maybe Adam Gallegos or Laura Kelly. Obviously, she's Star Wars and, Adam got knocked out. So I think, I don't know. I just think overall, in a hindsight, obviously, like it makes perfect sense. But yeah, super impressed with these guys, how they played. They're playing matches and obviously the round two. Well, the round one matches so far, but yeah, nice tag team there. We'll see where they go.
The Den, we have Tom and Paul. No surprise there. The Burning Drew.
Well, that was a little surprise.
A little surprise, yeah, because no Rachel and Ben. No Rachel and Ben. Yeah. I think this is now a show of hand on the side of the Den of where they think the future of their franchise, of where they're
keeping players, and
right.
I think that's an indication a little bit.
Over to the Dungeon, we got Wit and Zip. That's a nice little team together. I think those two work well together, and I think that's something to look out for. I project a first round matchup against this team right here from the Burning Drews, Jader and who is that? I don't see anything. Bogz, who's that?
Some guy you don't like. I think
who is that?
Before. Yeah, Brandon Hanna.
What?
But, first of all, right? Why is Deep 13 not in this tournament? Like you got Duralde and Cyborg. Like I'd fancy them going far in this tournament if they were to play. So instead, you put two newer kind of players. Like what is going off there? Like I was super surprised with that. But yeah, interesting. Obviously, I think Hannah's kind of shown aspect. I mean, technically on paper, not too bad. Obviously a singles player and an Ingeekton player, we don't really see that too often. Like on paper, it makes sense. So we'll see. I'm backing Jada against Tom fully. So if he gets,
I'm backing Tom against Jader. So I'll see you in the ring, son.
Yeah. well, that's what I mean. Like if we see his skill set in that Tom match, and if he does know classics and if he does know kind of the older stuff, the kind of wider range of singles, with Hannah's in a Geekdom knowledge, potentially we've got potentially a decent team here. But obviously you got to play with each other, see how the flow is, see the connection and all that. So but yeah, I mean, I wasn't disappointed or anything. I was more surprised that Deep 13, where are they? But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they got.
And then we'll throw it over to the Rock Stars with the Odd Couple. No surprise there. Throwing it in. Those two are ready to rumble.
Yeah. They're gonna crush it.
On to the three teams that surprised the absolute heck out of me, which I'll start with the least because the least surprising team of all, Defense Stock Exchange, choosing the Founding Fathers. Yeah. No reason not to
They
go
weren't fooling anybody
there.
Yeah,
they weren't fooling anybody there. Over to the Quirky Mercs. Haley Fouch and Scary Perry Nemiroff. The witching hour is coming for the Schmoedown, and those two scare me to death. They know a lot about movies, and I would hate to be the team that plays them in round one, and I hope that they don't throw them up against Final Exam or the Founding Fathers, because I just feel like these two need a fighting shot to get out of round one. I'm looking at maybe like a Dungeon, maybe Wit and Zip, or maybe Paul and Tom. Paul and Tom, I think, would be a great matchup. I think that's a fantastic idea. Hey, if anybody's seeding this thing, got you. What's up? But over to the thing that should really scare the living shenanigans, Jeezys, Zaboogies. I just made up a word there. Out of everybody, Ethan Irwin and Andrew Guy. The nice guys. Bogz?
Well, according to Dan, they're called Team TKO, which I quite like. I quite like that. So I don't know, so if you'd asked me a month ago, I'd have been absolutely like, definitely should be the right team. But, Guy, like he was, when kind of he did beat Moral and Riley, him and Roca were my favorite players, favorite personalities, favorite characters in the game. But we've come such a long way since then. And I'm kind of still annoyed with Guy and Bateman, the Civil War match. So it's left a little bit of sour taste in my mouth. Like I said, he was one of my favorite characters of all time in the Schmoedown. But currently right now, I don't really want to see him. I'm not going to lie. So I was I was surprised.
But you're in if he brings something different.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm getting to. So like, obviously Janine, I would have now if you'd asked me, I would have rather seen the Time Machine go into that tournament. But let's see what Guy is. Okay, absolutely. I'm happy to kind of give people a chance or whatever. But yeah, if he's coming in serious as a serious player, absolutely great. But if he's coming in with his joke Shmoedown thing and getting knocked out with only getting 7 points, then I ain't interested and not looking forward to it. But let's see. I mean, I'm always going to give people a chance. Of course, I'm not writing him off. But just going in, I would have liked to have seen Janine more. I have to be perfectly honest.
I'm not with you, man. I see where you're coming from. I'm excited to see if Andrew Guy can return to the Andrew Guy that I love. So that's really what I want to see. And I think Ethan can bring it out of him. We'll see if this is some right.
On paper, he is one of the best teams players.
Yeah,
like top 10 teams players. Yeah, absolutely.
Ever.
So
right,
he's got the credibility there. We need to see it because we haven't seen it in a while, in a minute.
Even though we are still in the throes of the singles tournament, Christian did just announce the lineup for the teams tournament, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what I think is going to be happening in this tournament by going down the list of the teams ranking who I think is going to be the teams to look out for, starting with the team that I have the, least amount of faith in, and then working my way down to the number one team, the team that I think is going to take it regardless of what the bracket is. My thoughts might change when I actually get to see the bracket, but I just kind of want to run down these teams really quick and give my thoughts on who the teams are that I like the best and think are going to have the toughest times. Number 9 on my list is the Burning Droogs team of Jada Paramo and Brandon Hanna. I'd said earlier that I thought Jada would make a really good partner for one of the members of Deep 13, and I get pairing him up with Brandon Hanna. Brandon's a solid Inner Geekdom competitor, and he was able to get some points for the faction in the Inner Geekdom tournament. But I don't like their odds, man. They're a new team. The Inner Geekdom knowledge is not necessarily as applicable to the teams division as Jader's singles knowledge is, because obviously it's the same movies. Ken is still kind of a new manager trying to figure out his groove, it seems like. Just looking at the faction standings, obviously Ken is still playing catch-up in a lot of ways, and especially if he wasn't able to put in Deep 13 for some reason, it's hard to tell how much prep Jader and Brandon are going to be able to have going into this. I just think that they're just too new. And maybe if they had a match they could play before going into the tournament, that might boost their odds a little bit. But coming in fresh like this, I just don't think it's going to work. Number 8 on my list, and this is going to make some people mad, the Usual Suspects team of Ethan Irwin and Andrew Guy. I love Ethan Irwin. He's one of my all-time favorite players, and he's clearly doing well this season. But you cannot build a good team off of one singular player. And I get Sam's reasoning that Andrew Guy has been good on teams before, but Guy just got bodied by Bateman so badly, even he was calling for Sam to trade him. I don't understand why Sam split up the Time Machine, a 2-1 team, a team that has a good record, so that would help as far as seeding goes. Janine was talking about how she was prepping specifically for Inner Geekdom in teams instead of singles, and that's part of why she wasn't in the singles tournament. And I think Janine really covers Ethan's blind spots in a way that I don't see Andrew Guy doing. It just cements the fact that I think Sam really built his whole faction on just Drew McWeeny, and to a lesser extent, the team of Drew McWeeny and Andrew Guy, and then just subbed Ethan Irwin into that spot when Drew McWeeny left. I don't think Andrew's going to be able to match where Ethan's at right now. I think that's going to be the thing that leads to Ethan's team getting beaten, because his team lost last year to the team of the Looney Bin, Video, Drew, and Tom. I think a similar thing could easily happen this year, where the team will have a lot of hype going in because it's Ethan, but then a team that has better chemistry, that has a better coverage between the two of them, winds up beating them. And I honestly, man, I'm just bummed out for Janine. Like, obviously, I don't know her. I don't know how she's feeling, but I really feel like Sam kind of gave her the short end of the stick for no clear reason. Man, I got this team ranked low. And if we want to talk about teams that have the capability to pull off an upset win, let's talk about my number 7 ranked team, the Dungeon team of Eric Zipper and Adam Witt. My thoughts on this team are pretty similar to my thoughts on the team of Jada Paramo and Brandon Hanna. Obviously, Adam Witt has been spending the season in Star Wars, which is, like Inner Geekdom, a lot more niche or niche than the general singles and teams knowledge is. But what the team of the Dungeon has that the Burning Droogs team doesn't have is A, the fact that both competitors have experience in teams before. B, the fact that this has been a team formed since the draft. These are two players that Kaiser has had on his squad from day one, and he's known that they're going to be a team together, so they've probably had practice time. And C, we've seen how Eric, someone that has been one of Kaiser's number one guys and has been growing with him as the Dungeon has grown as a faction, has just gotten better and better, and just recently beat in singles Paul Preston, Adam Witt's former team's partner. I just feel like the pieces are kind of falling into place for the Dungeon to have a little bit of a resurgence with this team specifically. I do think this is one where it is really going to kind of depend on who they get teamed up against in that round 1 of the bracket, but I think as long as they're not paired up against like the Founding Fathers or something, or I don't know, Final Exam, one of the like for sure great teams, they could really do some damage in this tournament. I like this team. One team though that I like just a little bit more is the team of Perry Nemiroff and Haley Fouch, a new team that we know the name of, the Witching Power, who will be representing the Quirky Mercs. I feel like Coy started off the season a little bit rough, but has just been getting better and better as he's had the opportunities to grow with his faction and really see what everyone needs. He did some great work with Perry, someone who has only been doing extremely niche or niche matches with like the Jurassic Park and new releases, I think were the two kind of belts that she was going after, but she just pulled off a huge win against Mike Kalinowski, due in no small part to the management of Coy. And then Haley Fouch, she's someone that's been a solid competitor for a minute now, but just hasn't had that big break, largely because in tournaments, she'll get paired up against some of the most fearsome people that are in that tournament alongside her. I think that Perry, though, that's someone that she's been working with for a while now. Those two for sure have chemistry. They have a manager that is really, I think, going to match their energy very well, and someone that is very clearly in tune with his players. I think that that is going to make a significant enough difference where, especially looking at the good luck Perry clearly is carrying, I think the Witching Power has a shot to very easily win their round 1 match at least, depending on who it is, but could honestly go even further than that. I keep forgetting how many matches there are going to be in this because it's only 9 teams, but Witching Power is one to watch out for sure. Number 5 on my list is the Den team of Tom and Paul. Tom, Paul Preston, said their names again because I wanted to get Paul's last name out there. Paul did really well in his debut season, but then has been stumbling a little bit this season with Tom and Paul getting a loss their first time out against Deep 13, and then Paul losing in the first round of the singles tournament to Eric Zipper. That is tough, certainly, but Paul is someone that has proven that he cares about this game. He's someone that got consistently better and better, I would say, in his first season, and I bet those 2 losses are kind of haunting him enough to the point where I'm not counting him out. And then Tom as well won his first round in the singles tournament in a pretty tight race against Tim Franco. So I think that this team, they've got a lot working against them. I would say obviously the Den has kind of been stumbling a little bit in this later part of the season, but these are two good competitors, and I think that if they can figure out how to just match each other, they could do some damage. And then number 4 on my list, this high up, I do have 2 rookies pairing up for the first time in my number 4 slot, Marisol McKee and Adam Collins. Corruption, I don't know how many of you are watching this. There's a very good chance you are watching this right now. But whoever from Corruption's watching, I need you to make sure that this team is called Coyote Justice. I need the new mascot of Corruption to be a little coyote guy who stands up on his 2 hind legs and wears like a little cowboy hat and a sheriff's badge and Coyote Justice. I need that in my life. I need that. But yeah, these are 2 people that have come up from the fan leagues, just had 2 very solid play-in matches to get into the singles tournament. Marisol just getting edged out by Paulo Yama in the singles tournament, and then Adam, I don't know how he's done yet against Sean Roca, but these 2 are also part of one of the strongest factions as we've seen as the season has gone forward with Shannon Barney managing them, and they're also at part of the same faction as the current teams champions, Mike Kalinowski and Chance Ellison, who can offer them all sorts of insights and guidance. This team has got a lot of things working for it. I'm really interested to see how this team does, and they are one of the teams of the new teams that I think has the best shot at making their mark in this tournament. Number 3 on my list is the swag team of Final Exam, Paulo Yama and Lon Harris. We just saw them do pretty good work in their little mini tourney, I guess, for a shot at the team's belt. They couldn't quite make it happen against Shazam, but these 2 are really solid individually and then also cover each other's weaknesses pretty well as a team. I think Paul and Lon have got a lot of experience under their belt just thanks to how the season has gone. They've been able to get a solid amount of play in, and I do think that's going to be a significant advantage against a team like, say, Tom and Paul, who haven't been able to play as much in this digital space. I think that Paul and Lon have a real good shot to do pretty well here. We've seen Winston do a whole lot of damage in tournaments before, so I wouldn't put it past Winston to be able to manage these guys to win the tournament. But right now I'm ranking them at number 3, largely because, again, they just lost to Shazam, so we know that sometimes when they are faced against some of the other big dogs of the Schmoedown team's world, they can't quite make it happen. And that brings us to my number 2 pick for this tournament, a team that has been around for quite a while now, the Odd Couple for the Rockstars. This is the team that Roxy built her dynasty on, I guess. As I've said from the beginning, and as a lot of people have said, it's not like I'm the only one who said this, but Roxy's 3 stars right now in her faction that have been keeping her afloat are Jeff Snyder, Mark Andraco, the Odd Couple, and then Alex Damon. And I think that this team is going to do what they've been doing since they've been with Roxy, which is win. The Odd Couple had those teams belts for a minute. They won them off the Shire Wolves, too. Like, that's crazy. This team is definitely very good. And now both Mark and Jeff have some experience in the digital space, with them each getting a win in the singles tournament. I don't necessarily know how well everything that they do is going to translate over to digital, but this is a team that, in general, is super, super strong. And I bet that they're going to make it very far in this tournament. But that brings us to my number 1 pick for this tournament, the team that I think is going to be able to take it all the way. No surprise, it's the Founding Fathers, Dan Merle and John Roca, the just recently former teams champions who just lost their belts, to Corruption, a team that very much wants those belts back, and a team that has proven they can hang with the best of the best in this division. An angry Dan is a scary Dan, and Dan was looking angry after he lost those belts. And John Roca, this is an Outlaw Nation show, so you know that I like John Roca. Obviously, the Founding Fathers had a struggle when they first entered the teams tournament, I guess 2 years ago now, when they were first formed in Anarchy. But it's worth remembering that they took their loss to Corruption, and Corruption's not in this tournament. So that makes their odds look a little bit better, I would say. If the one team that was able to beat them, that also then just beat them again, isn't going to be around for the entirety of this tournament, I think that probably makes Dan and John pretty excited. I think it might make them feel a little bit more hopeful as far as their odds, but it's certainly not going to douse their flame. And then again, Finstock Exchange is just one of those factions that's been sitting pretty in the rankings for a minute because their players are all just that good and work so well together. I could understand an argument for maybe saying the odd couple is going to be able to beat them, that Winston or Shannon, who are clearly phenomenal managers, will have that edge to give to their players that makes them win over the Founding Fathers, but I'm not going to bet against the Founding Fathers. Even when I was betting for them against corruption and I was wrong, I don't care. I'd make that bet again that the Founding Fathers would beat corruption, and I'm for sure betting right now that the Founding Fathers will be playing corruption again after they win this tournament.
Let's roll into, our thoughts, quick little pick for today's match, Roca versus Collins.
Yeah, so I really hope there's not a slip up here. So I can almost never back against Roca. Okay, so I'm going to back Roca. But I mean, I was super impressed with Collins. I mean, how can you not be? How well he played. His flow, him and Marisol kind of going to match up really well, I think, going into teams. But all respect to Collins, but I'm fully backing Roca all day, every day, especially in a match like this. Like, he needs a big win. But yeah, I just hope. I need Roca. What I'm looking for out of Roca is the confidence. Let's see the outlaw back. Let's see the confidence back. Yeah, you're going into, your side of the bracket's super hard. So I believe he would play Lon next potentially. But yeah, so let's see kind of where we're at. I don't want to kind of hear, no excuses. I want a big win from Roca. But yeah, I would be surprised if there was an upset, absolutely. But it's not the biggest upset I've ever seen because, Collins is a player.
Well, folks, we'll close it out on this.
Wait. What about you? You're not giving me your prediction?
No. I got you.
Oh, okay. I thought
Ethan Irwin. So no. We'll close it out right here. We ran a poll that was retweeted by the Chancellor himself,
the Emperor,
the Supreme Chancellor.
Yeah.
9% most likely to get upset, Ethan Irwin. 15% most likely to get upset, William Bibiani. Coming in at 31% voted, Paul Oyama. So that leaves John Roca as the most likely. 452 people voted in this. 45% of those folks think that John Roca is the one that should be on upset alert. And he's even owned up to it, man. So we'll see. Will we see one of the... I mean, I think it'd be a huge upset, but also we need a bracket buster, man. If this thing just goes according to plan, people ain't gonna be too happy about that.
I mean, I hope we've already had it with Perry and
Perry kind of
Mike.
Perry did it. Yeah,
please,
Perry did it. Perry totally did it.
Yeah, come on, Roca. We need.
All right, folks. This has been the Thursday edition of the Ultimate Schmoedown Show, which means tomorrow's Friday and it's a pay-per-view, so which means we will be live 1 hour before tip-off.
Big night.
That is 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Late over there from my boy Bogz.
That's why I said big night, and I realized it's not for you.
Big night. It's big morning. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So that'll do it, folks. Bogz, I'll see you tomorrow. Folks, we hope to see you here. Join us live. And thanks for joining us today. So for the Ultimate Schmoedown Show, see you later, folks.